a quarter to a third of the causeway is destroyed.
It's in several different places.
Yeah, collapses in 2 different places. There's water washed over a good chunk of it too. So, there's still portions of the causeway. When I first heard that the causeway collapsed, I wasn't sure if it was completely down or what had happened, but you can still see parts of the causeway. But there was 3 different impacted areas that make this unusable. I mean, it's going to take a long time to fix this thing too. We saw crews heading out there to start trying to move.
Before you get to the toll booth, you can see all the windsurfers love to go out there, and fishermen park on the side.
Yep, one of the best spots
That's what
all
we're
of
looking
South
at now.
Florida.
All of the sand from Bunch Beach, which is a really shallow area right there, is washed onto Summerlin Road. Now we're looking at the lighthouse. It looks like the water just came over there.
The toll booth. So at this point, you're still about, there you can see it right there, half a mile away from the actual causeway itself.
And the road is washed out. I mean, there are pieces of the road littered on
It looks
sand.
like a sandy beach almost. It looks more like a beach than a road right now.
Now, since this is taken, one piece of good news, our reporter out in the field, Kyla Gaylor, has said that crews have actually managed to clear at least one side of the road so folks can start getting at least to the entrance of the causeway and start working on some kind of solution where they can hopefully get some heavy equipment out there. But
There's a resort at the end of that, so that there are people staying. I know that ABC News crew was staying at the Sandoval Harbor Resort at the end of that road. So I mean, they're there right now. I think that's where Ginger Z was reporting from. That's the resort right there. That's Punta Rassa. So they can't get in and out of there. They're trapped there unless they can go by boat, and anybody gets in a boat right now is crazy because who knows what's underneath the water that you could run aground or hit. It's so dangerous right now.
The sheriff in Lee County did say, they're going to try to get boats and helicopters to people as soon as they can.
And Grove sitting next to a car.
There are a lot of cars I've seen on Summerlin Road that it's eerie because they're almost in the one lane. The doors are left open, and it looks like someone just walked away, probably because they tried to drive through high water and their car stalled.
And if you become that desperate where you're literally leaving your vehicle because that is the better option, that is a bad situation you're finding yourself in.
90% of Lee County is still without power, which, as we've known from other storms, it can take a long time, and as we hope never happen. And a lot of us, I'm sure, thinking, you never think this is going to happen to you, but this has happened to our community, and it is just horrible.
And Kelly, you could probably talk a little bit about this too, but this Sanibel Causeway Bridge, I know we're not looking at it right now, but that's, one of the images really sticking in a lot of people's minds. They just went in and redid that in the aftermath of Charlie. Here we go. Now we're looking at the lead up. Can you
go back to the helicopter pictures again, because that was Summerlin Road, and I just want to describe to people what I'm seeing over Lexington Country Club. That's where my parents live, right there.
Have you been in touch with them? Are they okay?
They are not in town, but they're desperate to find out what happened to their house, and I went to try to go there today, and there's too much water on the road. And as you can see, there's still water on the road. People who need memory care, people who need elder care, a nursing home, all of those people had to be evacuated into Health Park.
In flames, firefighters cannot get there. I mean, there's water surrounding this.
Mike, do you know what road that is?
Oh, they're zooming in. Let's see.
I'm trying to see street signs. I just don't know if our quality on this is going to be quite good enough to tell where it is.
But it is. It looks like it is in that area of Health Park and Summerlin Road. It's off of Summerlin Road, a duplex, and it's right near one of the golf courses. I can't tell exactly what community it is, but look at all the water. You can see some vehicles trying to go through, and it's probably super dangerous. Those fire trucks, they cannot go into water that deep, and so there's nothing they can do. It's so sad to see a home, well, 2 homes, basically burning because it's too dangerous for firefighters.
Look like that could be some kind of response crew, possibly, in those images. White trucks, no way to know for sure, but that does look like the type of vehicles that we'll see response crews going out in.
Yeah, the amount of water left, 12, 14 hours after the storm was out of Lee County is truly shocking. And, you know, the meteorologist did tell us that the storm surge was going to continue to push the water into the land. And if you were in the certain spot, it was going to continue to come up in your area. And that's exactly what happened.
Kelly, I'm going to talk. Okay, we're just hearing there is a meeting of the Lee County Emergency Operations Center. Will be giving us an update at 1:30. 1:30.
I was going to say, this is meteorologist Sammy Squires. You know, when you think about all this water that has really built up, it has nowhere else to go. The ground is already so saturated, let alone before we had Hurricane Ian pass through the area. So this water just doesn't want to go anywhere, and
it was windy for a long time, so it was continued to push on shore, and it's
salt water too.
Salt water.
So this is out. I know this is near. This is South Lee County, near San Carlos Park area. Those pyramid rental units are kind of a landmark for me. So this is like out near Alico, and this is over Lee County.
So we're looking, out towards the west. The chopper's flying off of Fort Myers Beach now, going south Fort Myers, South Lee County. Looks a little bit drier, but no, there's another neighborhood with, I think that we may be heading towards the Island Park community. And, historic flooding several years ago there. The 10 Mile Canal empties into Estero Bay there.
Some new video from Iona. We're looking at flooding in Iona from the ground for those listening.
Gave folks a heads up, and I think a lot of folks did evacuate, but I mean, this is going to be devastating for people that never in a million years thought the ocean would be at their front door.
It wasn't required, so why would you get flood insurance if you're not in a flood zone and it's not required? Of course you're going to say, me too, it's never flooded here before.
Again,
well, we've never had a storm like this before, so those poor people.
And I mean, until something like this happens, you just don't even know what Mother Nature's capable of.
I think we have the banner flashing across the bottom there at different points.
That's
but,
very close to my home.
Lee County Sheriff Carl, is that right?
Ooh,
Yeah, I
dang,
have
look at that.
a friend on
that was
Fort Myers
already
Beach who
like-
evacuated. Newer houses with second stories, but then there's a lot of the traditional beach cottages. And
So this is where I live.
the
It's
water was over the roofs of
out of the
those,
flood
and
zone.
She said there,
Over there.
our neighbors
One of our crews ran
my
into
neighbor.
some
happened to
Marco
this tree?
volunteers going out, a rescue team,
house
and
is
they
over
told our
there.
crew, they said, don't go back there.
Probably
And they
lost
said, well,
one of my
one is
boats.
too dangerous.
snakes,
Going to check up on the
fish in
neighbor now.
street.